Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That is me, TheBabbler. That is me on this evolutionary high of an uprise at this time. And so I decided to share on my Instagram stories. You can check me out there too at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS on my Instagram stories. Asking and posing one simple question. What archetype from these cards, because this is a new deck, Ancestral Oracle of the Celtics. So this tarot, this oracle cards, they're divided by their divine ancestor cards, represented by matriarch and patriarch archetypes. Okay, there's 32 clan cards, which are divided into suits. The suits are of truth, honor, sovereignty, and wisdom. Each one is based on a category of Celtic society: farmers, warriors, nobles, and artists and craftspeople. So throughout the stories of the Celtic mythology and legend, these cards help to express the deeper meaning of the ancestor cards. So the question that I pose is, what energy archetype do you currently embody? You see, because I don't like to get stuck in time, and I don't want to say that we're all just one thing, because we are more than what we even understand ourselves to be at this current moment too, that shall pass. I don't like to get stuck on a moment that is constantly, infinitely expanding and changing. So as of right now, whenever you receive this message, this timeless message here, where are your current energies? What archetype are you currently energetically connecting with, and the message of that kind of card? So here we have 4 cards that I have here. Don't mind my dog. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Unos, dos, tres, or cuatro. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let that marinate in you. See which cards are calling out to you. And here we go. So without further ado, so beginning at 222, we are turning over. If you selected card number 1, the Prince energies. Okay, so here we have the Prince. And let's take a look at this card. That Prince looks like he is carrying a heavy load, just based off of looking at it from this kind of perspective. I'm just looking for the page. Since this is new here, I want to go off the book. Don't bear with me, sorry. Okay, here we go. We have the Prince card. So if you selected card number 1, so the question is, what energies are you currently experiencing? What messages do the ancestors bring to you now? It is time to undergo the tests that put your aptitudes to task. Examinations, trials, interviews, or the grind of studying are the only way forward. If you love what you do, the outcome will be self-evidently successful. You cannot reserve just a portion of what you want to achieve. You have to accept all that it represents. Don't take up this task unless your whole heart is in it, because your true feelings will find you out and the truth will become apparent to all. The wisdom of this card. I make the heritage and well-being of the land my chief study. All about the Prince. Destined to be prominent in the affairs of his tribe, the Prince studies the ways of sovereignty, but he may not necessarily become king if the tribe thinks him an unmanly wastrel. To become the instrument of the tribal will, he has to undergo so many tests. Although he is only the son of a serving woman by the king, Neil shows early promise and considerably more interest in the nature of kingship than his more nobly born half-brothers. Neil submits to the artist's test that the king's druid sets. He passes all the tests until, alone of all his half-brothers, he agrees to kiss the hag who guards the only source of water. As he does so, the hag turns into the beautiful goddess of sovereignty and acclaims him as the royal successor. Neil faithfully upholds his mother's rights and his half-brothers do homage to him. The position of this card is in the east. The emblem is torque, and the keyword here is study. So maybe there are things that you are undergoing at this time that feel like tests, trials, tribulations, like when is my break? It's coming. See the seed. Look at even just like, everything coming into full circle. It's like a broken link here that might have caused so many delays, but you are working your way. Noble is the way of the prince. Thank you again. If you liked this kind of reading, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I am so thankful for you coming in. And now we are moving on to card number 2 at 6:02. If you chose card number 2, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for here. So the question that I kind of spit is here. What is this one? Lord of Lore. Okay, what is this? So the question that we're asking is, what current energies are you currently undergoing or learning or involved in at this current space or time that the ancestors want to tap into and allow you to understand a little bit better on your own evolutionary journey at this time. So you have the Lord of Lore. Here we go. So the general attitude of this card is, what ethical action is needed at this time for you? How can you be true? Okay? The creativity, and in regards to work for this card, what needs renewal? What has to be finalized or discontinued? The health and well-being of this card. What fear grips you and what story dispels fear? Love and friendship of this card. What needs to move on? What needs renewal? And the family gift of wisdom with this card is, I bestow the gift of renewal. When things look dead, you can bring new life out of the dark. The energies you're tapped into at this current time. Renewal, bringing new life out of the dark, and you might be going through certain kind of levels of trials and tribulations too, or just energies that are tough to get through, but you carry the gift of renewal within you. The Lord of Lore is the king of the ancestors, the Celtic lord of the underworld. When the sun reaches its winter standstill, he holds the power of life and death in his hand. He seizes the necks of dragons in either hand and is not afraid to let things go. He helps us relinquish that which no longer serves us. He is seen in the figure of Bran the Blessed, who gives up his own life in defense of Britain. When his troops have to cross a river whose bridge has been dismantled, Bran says, "He who would be chief, let him also be a bridge." He then lies down over the river, and his men pass over his gigantic form. When the battle seems lost, he takes a mortal wound, commanding his troops to behead him and set his face forward toward France to ward off invasion. He continues to speak with his troops while presiding over the otherworld feast. His head sings the ancestral song continually. So it's as though like sacrifice too, I hear in this kind of messaging for the nobility that exists within you, Lord of Lore. Quality is renewal through you, the growth, the sun at its most weakest point. You are representative of the position of the sun circle north of invasion. So thank you again if you chose card number 2. If you like this kind of reading, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in with me. And now moving on to card number 3 at 935. Here we go, 936. If you chose card number 3, thank you very much. The message, the question that is being posed here through these Ancestral Oracle of the Celts cards is, what current energy are you embodying at this time that you can kind of like tap into or just become more inner aware of the current stance or the things that are currently being asked of you at this time that might feel like, you know, heavy, or like not even just heavy, but just like, you know, needed by you. So this be truth. So moving on to part number 3, here we go. The King. So here we have kingly energies. So this is a masculine energy as well. Hold on. So we have the King. Okay, if you have made a promise, it is now time to honor and keep it. Even if it's an agreement you made when times were desperate. The way you keep faith with sacred trust that you make with life determines the very nature of the life that you live. Whatever contracts or agreements stand between you and another, you now understand them better, or know what it means to be betrayed. If there is latitude for reconciliation, then reforge the terms anew. If the contract is broken irrevocably, then it probably is time to walk away. Family wisdom with this card. I keep faith with the vows that the clan has witnessed. The King. The King is the royal ruler who ratifies the contract with the goddess of the land. His inauguration stone is emblematic of the land itself. His vow is to sustain good kingship by listening to the land's needs. If he ill-treats or spurns his queen, the land turns to wasteland and his marriage vow is broken. King Lud is the ancient king of London who has to overcome, by his kingly strength and human guile, 3 plagues that overrun Britain. With the help of his brother's canny advice, Lud ejects a race of otherworldly people who have infiltrated his land. He contains the 2 dragons of the land, which are causing death to his people. And he overcomes an otherworldly thief that is laying waste to his resources by wrestling with him and making him swear allegiance. The key word here is vow. The emblem is inauguration stone. The position is to the west. So here you are, being asked to be noble with your vows that are to be witnessed. And to be witnessed is to be acknowledged, no longer denied. For this king, as we know many a king, might have some pride that he has to push to the side. Either way, thank you for tuning in. If you like this kind of reading, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in, my friends. Alright, so moving on to card number 4. Something more. So at 1310, card number 4. If you chose card number 4, here we go. Here we go. The adulteress. The energy here. What is this that we have here? That is an interesting card to display, and maybe some drama in some kind of way is associated with some of you who may have chosen this card, number 4, that is presenting itself to you right now. Moving on. You may temporarily influence events or energize things by turning on the charm, but the effects won't last. If you have the haunting feeling of being second best, it is most likely to be a reflection that's intended to make you feel unworthy or unfit. Hold your confidence and true identity. Faithfulness to your cause serves you well now. Rather than novelty or crowd-pleasing tactics, hold your form while things whirl around you, and you can return to your center so that others see that you are indeed constant and consistent. Be careful not to let envy cloud your judgments. The family wisdom of this card. I refresh and energize whatever is starved of life. Adultrac is the Pictish term for secondary wife. This term refers to the younger, secondary wife who does not have the status of a first wife. She can keep a man young at heart and often holds power in the tribe through her husband's love. But such a position also has its ambivalent side. A new favorite wife sometimes changes the order of precedence as a younger woman replaces an older, less attractive one. The fairy woman, Fan, becomes the demanding lover of Cuchulainn, taking him away from his wife, Emir, causing her to suffer terrible jealousy. Cuchulainn falls into a lovesick coma and agrees to go into the other world for love of Fan. The situation is only rectified when Fan's erstwhile husband, Manan, shakes his magical cloak between Cuchulainn and Fan, causing the lovers to forget each other. Keyword, energize. Emblem is the ring. Position is southeast. So maybe this current energy of whatever it is that you are experiencing might be making you feel second best, not chosen, hidden, or maybe not sacrificed for, or maybe less than what you deserve in some kind of way, in the energies that are engaging in at play that come up for you to look at it in some kind of other way.